Welcome to another chilling episode of Mysteries of the Skies, where we delve into the enigmatic world of unidentified flying objects, blending cold, hard facts with the eerie unknowns that keep us staring at the stars. Tonight, we're traveling back to 1947, just days before the infamous Roswell incident, to uncover the Maury Island UFO sighting, a tale of donut-shaped craft, falling debris, a shadowy man in black, and a tragic crash that claimed lives on the very dawn of the U.S. Air Force. Strap in, because this story is as scientifically intriguing as it is unnervingly bizarre. It all began on June 24th, 1947, in the misty waters of Puget Sound, Washington State, about 6 miles west of Des Moines. Harold Dahl, a harbor patrolman, was out on his boat with his teenage son, their dog, and 2 unnamed crew members. According to Dahl's report, the day started ordinarily enough, but around 2 p.m., something extraordinary shattered the calm. 6 massive, donut-shaped objects appeared in the sky, each roughly 100 feet in diameter, crafted from what looked like reflective metal. They hovered silently at about 2,000 feet, their central holes measuring 25 feet across, dotted with round portholes and what seemed like observation windows. It was as if the heavens had opened to reveal mechanical rings from another world. 5 of these objects began circling a 6th one, which suddenly descended to about 500 feet above the water. Then, without warning, the central craft started disgorging debris, lightweight white metal sheets and heavier, dark chunks resembling lava rock. Dahl estimated about 20 tons of this material rained down, hot enough to sizzle and produce steam as it hit the bay. Tragically, the fallout struck close. A piece burned Dahl's son's arm, killed their dog instantly, and damaged the boat's upper deck. In the chaos, Dahl tried to radio for help, but the device failed inexplicably, leaving them isolated in the eerie aftermath. The objects lingered for a moment, then ascended and vanished westward over the sea, leaving only ripples and questions in their wake. Shaken, Dahl rushed his injured son to a hospital in Tacoma for treatment. He claimed to have snapped photographs of the bizarre airships with his camera, but when developed, the negatives showed peculiar spots, almost like damage from radiation exposure, though no scientific tests confirmed actual radioactivity. The next morning, the story took an even darker turn. A mysterious man in a black suit visited Dahl at a local diner. This shadowy figure, who Dahl had never met, recounted the entire incident in chilling detail, as if he'd been there himself. He warned Dahl to keep silent, implying grave consequences if he spoke out. This encounter is often cited as one of the earliest reports of the infamous men in black, enigmatic enforcers who seemed to materialize from the void to silence UFO witnesses. Dahl confided in his supervisor, Fred Chrisman, who was initially skeptical. Chrisman visited Maury Island to collect samples of the dark, rock-like debris. While there, he claimed to spot one of the donut-shaped craft hovering overhead, adding his own eyewitness account to the mix. But the weirdness didn't end. Dahl's son later disappeared without a trace, only to be found weeks later in Montana, hundreds of miles away, with no memory of how he'd gotten there. Was it amnesia from the trauma, or something more sinister lurking in the shadows? Word of the sighting spread, drawing attention from notable figures. Just 3 days after Dahl's encounter, pilot Kenneth Arnold reported his own famous sighting of flying saucers near Mount Rainier, kicking off the modern UFO era. Intrigued, Arnold and airline pilot E.J. Smith traveled to Tacoma in late July to investigate Maury Island. They interviewed Dahl and Chrisman, examined the supposedly damaged boat, and even collected some debris samples. However, they never received the promised photographs, which Dahl said were too sensitive to share. The case escalated when Army Air Force intelligence officers got involved. On July 31, 1947, Captain Lee Davidson and First Lieutenant Frank Brown flew in from Hamilton Field, California, aboard a B-25 bomber. They met with Arnold, Smith, and Chrisman at a hotel, reviewing the accounts and examining the slag-like samples. One officer reportedly whispered that there might be something to the story, a hint of credibility amid the skepticism. Around midnight, the officers departed with debris samples, heading back in their B-25. But tragedy struck just 20 minutes after takeoff. The bomber crashed near Centralia, Washington, engulfed in flames. Davidson and Brown perished in the blaze, while 2 enlisted crew members parachuted to safety. The Air Force and FBI launched an immediate investigation, concluding it was an accident caused by an engine fire and structural failure. No sabotage was found, but the timing was haunting. This crash marked the first fatalities for the newly independent U.S. Air Force, which officially separated from the Army that very day, August 1, 1947. In the wake of the deaths, scrutiny intensified. Investigators scoured Maury Island but found no massive piles of metal as described, just ordinary terrain. The debris samples resembled common slag from a nearby metal smelter, nothing extraterrestrial. Damage to Dahl's boat didn't match the tale of hot, heavy impacts, and the lack of physical evidence pointed to fabrication. Under pressure, Dahl and Chrisman reportedly admitted it was a hoax, concocted for publicity in the pages of pulp magazines. The FBI warned them against perpetuating the story, even threatening fraud charges tied to the officers' deaths. Yet, doubts linger. In a 1950 issue of Fate magazine, Chrisman recanted his confession, insisting the incident was real. Scientifically, the descriptions of the UFOs, their toroidal shape, reflective surfaces, and silent flight, echo some modern theories of advanced aerodynamics or even plasma phenomena, though no evidence supports extraterrestrial origins here. The radiation spots on the negatives could suggest electromagnetic interference, but without the originals, it's speculative at best. And the men in black element? It predates Roswell, planting seeds for conspiracy theories that endure to this day. Was Maury Island a clever hoax amid the 1947 UFO flap, or did something truly otherworldly unfold in those foggy waters, only to be buried by tragedy and official denial? The facts paint a picture of deception, but the eerie details, the vanishing sun, the ominous visitor, the fatal crash, whisper of deeper mysteries. If nothing else, it reminds us that the skies hold secrets that science is still unraveling, one shadowy report at a time. Thanks for joining me on Mysteries of the Skies. If this tale sent a chill down your spine, hit that like button, subscribe for more unearthly explorations, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you encountered something inexplicable in the night sky? Until next time, keep watching the heavens. They might be watching back.